I am wonderful, thank you. And I suppose we could also say a Bruins fan. It seems kind of odd to be following hockey in the middle of June, but anyway, it's good times right now.
Game number 4, Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, Bees tonight. Congressman Charlie Bass here on WNTK and WUVR. Let's talk about, and it's surprising already, 18 months out to an election, to see the attack ads coming out there, with, folks on the right saying, folks on the left saying, man in the middle and all over the place saying, that Charlie Bass, he wants to end my grandmother's Social Security and my Social Security is going to cut. Let's cut through all of this stuff and get to the truth. What's happening?
Well, look, I'm not surprised that the shrill, frankly, untruthful rhetoric. This is about politics. These ads, not policy. I knew that when I ran for Congress last year, we were going to be facing some really tough debates. The debates, however, should be about substance and about issues. And in this case, we're trying to do something about a budget that's going to bankrupt America within not our lifetime, within the next 4 or 5 years. We've seen what's been going on in Greece and Portugal and Ireland. And what we proposed in a budget that we submitted to the Congress, which is just a plan, it's not legislation per se, it's just a plan that the Congress should use as a guide to figure out what to do. We presented a plan that would reduce the growth of government by a little over $6 trillion over 10 years. One of the ideas that the budget contains is a proposal that would preserve and protect the Medicare program, not eliminate it, or in fact, it might actually, in fact, I think it would improve potentially the quality of services and the choices that seniors have. Medicare was created in 1966. I was 14 years old. There have been very, very few changes made to the program over that period of time. Most of the rest of health care has changed quite a bit. In 1966, if you had a heart attack, the only therapy was glycerin pills and bed rest. Look what you have at your disposal now. More and more people are over the age of 65 than were before. 1,000, I think, are every minute or something like that, some national figure. And the cost of health care has gone up a lot. Right now, the average working American contributes about $100,000 to the Medicare program in taxes over his or her working life and receives about $300,000 in benefits. So this isn't about politics. This is about being courageous and dealing with the decisions that we need to deal with in order to preserve this program. I point out that it isn't a budget issue because it doesn't affect anybody who's over the age of 54 right now, and the budget's 10 years long, so that there isn't actually any savings in this budget until 10 years from now, which is after the budget period. So we're doing this because we're trying to help preserve and protect the Medicare program. We're doing what was recommended to President Bill Clinton in 1999 by the Bro-Thomas Commission, to Senator Bro being a Democrat and Bill Thomas being a Republican, senator and congressman respectively. And President Clinton, I have little doubt, would have submitted this very plan to Congress had he not gotten caught up in scandals, personal scandals of his own. In fact, it's Clinton, former President Clinton, who is telling the Democrats, whoa, don't get too far out here because you guys may end up voting for this very plan, which makes sense. It's a premium support plan, very similar to that which is in Medicare Part D right now, which seniors are pretty happy with.
And we should also point out that the Congressional Budget Office and Medicare trustees, and these are independent, nonpartisan groups, have both forecasted many times, and this is available knowledge, that Medicare could be bankrupt in the next generation unless something is done. Those are the facts, and that's what we're dealing with today with Congressman Charlie Bass here on NewsTalk 99.7 WNTK, WNTK.com. Was watching, without getting into the politics of it, just as an observer, was watching President Obama yesterday and Ben Bernanke talk about the bumps in the economy and the not so good economic news and the fact that, well, the economy, the recovery may have stalled. And I was looking at that and I'm saying, this is where Barack Obama may have lost the 2012 election. What is the mood in Washington? How are we going to get this thing turned around?
Well, I want to take it out of the political scene. I want people back. I want this economy to turn around. I want to see people get back to work. This president has had now 2.5 years and he controlled both houses of the Congress for 2 years to enact his plan for economic recovery. It consisted of $1 trillion, or a little less than that, stimulus bill. Obviously, it hasn't really worked. It consisted of a gigantic bailout for the auto industry and banks and insurance companies, and parts of that have worked and parts of that haven't worked. And it also consisted of an attempt to pass a climate change bill and a health care bill, which did pass. I think that passage of the health care bill and the uncertainty associated with it is one of the many reasons why why employers rather are hesitant to hire people, because they don't know what the cost after 2000 is going to be when this bill really kicks in and all the mandates begin and the higher taxes kick in. So the president is in a precarious position because he's had his chance now for 2.5 years. He can't blame it anymore on the prior administration or somebody else. And so that's why he is struggling to figure out where we go from here. I am hopeful that a combination, first of all, the Federal Reserve is going to make sure there's plenty of money in the economy. We don't need to spend more money to get out of this recession. But what we do need to do is to persuade the world that we're responsible about our own resources and that we want our businesses to be competitive with businesses around the world. That means restructuring of the tax code, not necessarily no tax cut, but rather to lower the corporate tax rate, but also eliminate the loopholes and all the deductions, or reduce them, that they get so the tax is broader, more entities, individuals and corporations pay it, but the rate itself is lower. I also believe that we need to take a chance and implement a territorial exemption for foreign-held earnings so that we can get the money back into the United States that's sitting offshore because it's taxed basically twice. These are some suggestions that I have. And I think, the president and the Congress need to start working together to figure out where we go from here.